It's early morning at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 2 on Wallops Island as we count down to the launch of today's national security mission for the National Reconnaissance Office. Thanks for tuning in for this launch, our 46th Electron mission and our first for the year from our launch pad in Virginia. On your screen right now stands our Electron rocket vertical and ready for liftoff, scheduled at 0240 local time or 2340 Pacific and 0640 UTC. My name is Muriel Baker and I am thrilled to be with you for another Eastern Shore launch from LC2. Today's launch is the NROL 123 mission for the NRO. It's our fifth mission for the National Reconnaissance Office, but the first time we are launching for the agency from the US and from their home state of Virginia. The mission's name is Live and Let Fly. The payloads on board are research missions to enable new technology development amongst the NRO, industry and academia. Now, at their request, we won't be showing a payload camera view and we'll be ending the webcast today shortly after stage 2 separation. We have two different mission patches on the fairing for this Electron. There's our Rocket Lab mission patch featuring the Pegasus and a second mission patch from the NRO. The three animals on the NRO's mission patch represent the three research missions launching on Electron today. Now, while these are classified missions, we can tell you that for one of those missions, the NRO has partnered with the Naval Postgraduate School. Now it's over to you to guess which animal represents that mission and what the other animals might stand for. But for now, here's more about the National Reconnaissance Office.
People have always thought that big ideas were impossible until we made them come true. Finding new ways to innovate, helping humanity prepare for the unpredictable on the planet we call home. We see from the perspective of stars. And push beyond to keep the world safe.
It's great to be back on the pad with the NRO for the fifth time. Our third and fourth missions for the NRO were two back-to-back flights from our launch pad in New Zealand for the NROL 162 and NROL 199 payloads. Earlier in our launch manifest, we had also flown NRO missions in January and June 2020. Today's mission also marks the last launch the NRO has acquired using its Rapid Acquisition of a Small Rocket, or RASR contract, a streamlined, faster and commercial approach by the NRO for launching small satellites. Our first flights for the NRO were also contracted under RASR, so it's a fantastic full circle moment to be flying RASR 5 and NROL 123 from our Virginian launch pad today. The NRO has also dedicated this launch to Dr. Steve Stearns. Steve worked in the intelligence community for 21 years. He was an architect and an advocate for the NRO mission, building multimedia displays. He used his skills from years of teaching at universities by creating compelling stories with intelligence community products to educate distinguished visitors on the NRO mission. Steve passed away in February 2023. He is remembered by his colleagues as being passionate about geology and the mission of the NRO, and he loved working at the NRO, going to launches and being able to say, "I was there." So today we can say he is here with us from rocks to rockets. With the support of Virginia Spaceport Authority, the Commonwealth of Virginia and NASA Wallops Flight Facility, our home on the Eastern Shore serves multiple purposes: small launch on Electron, suborbital launch with HASTE, and very soon, heavier launch and return missions with our reusable Neutron launch vehicle. Now, while we're preparing to go to orbit today on Electron, most recently this pad was used for one of our suborbital missions on our HASTE rocket. It's our suborbital launch vehicle created for hypersonic test launches out of Wallops. Now, hypersonic and suborbital test capabilities are top priorities for the nation, but right now, developing that capability has been constrained by limited capacity. HASTE, though, helps to solve that with a launch vehicle for hypersonic testing that is ready right now. It's a lot like Electron with the same carbon composite structure and 3D printed Rutherford engines, but it has some specific modifications for hypersonic testing, including a modified kick stage, a larger payload capacity of up to 700 kilograms, and customizable fairings to suit larger payloads. Our first HASTE mission took place just a few months ago from the same launch pad as part of the Mark TV program through Leidos for the Department of Defence. Here's more on how Launch Complex 2 and our launch vehicles are bringing value to the national security industry.
For a whole suite of various government or defense companies to be able to launch from American soil means they can actually launch a more diverse set of payloads than they can if they're required to actually export them for launch. And for us, it's great. We can leverage all the resources we have, but provide that expanded capability to launch different types of payloads from here on American soil. So we've got a great established relationship with the NRO. This is our 5th launch with them. So at this point, we know them and they know us. But this is our first chance to launch them here from Virginia on American soil, which is very exciting. So it's really nice with those guys because they know our process. They know how we do things and how we do things efficiently and quickly. So anytime anything comes up where we have to modify anything to support their payloads, they know how to ask for it and we know how to provide it very efficiently. We want it to be very quick from signing a contract to getting you on the launch pad and launched, especially with national security interests. So we need to have that responsiveness, and adding a reliable vehicle like Electron that the entire government community can use really adds to our ability to be responsive as a country and as smaller communities within the government. I'm a sucker for a good team. That's really what it comes down to for me. So, we've got so many people that are here to support launch, and everything has to go right. And so to make that happen, you need to have a bunch of people who are really good at their jobs, and launch day is when everyone gets to show what they do. So people who are really detail-oriented, they've done their homework, they're really enthusiastic and curious and driven to do as great of a job as they can do, they get to put their cards on the table and show that on launch day. So it's great to see a high-performance team absolutely operating at their peak on launch day, and there's just that excitement in the air. It's almost like an adrenaline rush that you really can't get in other fields.
At just over 12 minutes to lift off, things are looking good for an on-time launch from LC2. Our operators are working in partnership with NASA and the Virginia Spaceport Authority to keep the range clear and ready for support. Now, Electron and its NRO payload remain healthy, and the weather is proving nice and calm in these early hours. Next, we'll be moving into the Go, No-Go poll run by our launch director at Wallops, Julia Wembaka. She'll run through status checks with each of the launch operators at the ICF at Wallops and MCC in Auckland to know whether to proceed with the countdown to T0. We're going to bring up those audio channels now and listen in.
To all operators, LD and countdown, we are proceeding now with the final poll for launch, the Go No Go sequence. Stage.
Stages go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Recon.
Recon's go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
Mars CE.
Mars CE is go.
Mars Ops.
Mars Ops is go.
Mars 1.
Mars 1 is go.
NASA GSO.
Those go.
NASA RSO.
RSOs go.
NASA PM.
SPM is go.
Payload MD.
Payload MD is go.
LSO.
LSO is go.
LD Sub.
LD Sub is go.
NASA TD. The go-no-go sequence is complete. We are currently T-minus 11 minutes and 7 seconds and counting. We are go for the terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-watt hold procedure is in effect.
Good news there. We are moving forward with today's launch attempt set for 0240 local time, 2340 Pacific time, or 0640 UTC. It is now 10 minutes 36 seconds and counting to launch, so time to take you through the Electron rocket for today's NRO mission. Electron is a 3-stage liquid-fueled launch vehicle. Its external and internal structures, like its propellant tanks, are made from carbon composite, which is what gives Electron its unique black look. Now, where it is white is where liquid oxygen is being loaded into the tanks. The freezing temperature of the LOX causes moisture on the outside of the rocket to turn to ice, and that's why it looks white. There are 10 engines across the rocket, 9 that power the first stage, and a 10th that powers the second stage. All of these Rutherford engines are 3D printed and feature electrically powered fuel pumps instead of a traditional gas turbine system. Rutherford engines use brushless DC electric motors and lithium polymer batteries that, together, drive the engine's propellant pumps. It's a unique but streamlined way of making an engine run while still allowing the Rutherford to achieve up to 90% efficiency. Now, the rocket's propellant is a mix of liquid oxygen and kerosene used across all 10 engines on both of Electron's stages. On its third stage, there is a singular engine called the Curie. Now, this engine is much, much smaller than the Rutherford and is used to propel the kick stage, or what we call the third stage, or what we call the kick stage, when it's in space to deploy its attached satellites. Now, we're able to start and stop this engine on command when it's in space, which helps to point the kick stage and its payload in exactly the direction it needs to go, whether that is across multiple trajectory changes on a rideshare mission or to a very specific location on orbit that can only be achieved on a dedicated mission.
Stage LD countdown.
LED stage.
Proceed with sequence 56, the stage terminal check sequence.
Copy. Stage terminal check.
GCLD countdown.
LDGC.
Proceed with sequence 57, the launch pad ready sequence.
Copy. Proceeding with launch pad ready sequence.
All engine blips nominal. All engines are ready. LED stage countdown.
Stage LD.
Stage terminal check sequence complete.
Copy.
To get to the pad today involved a focus campaign of rocket and payload readiness checks, including a rehearsal for launch that is known as a wet dress rehearsal. Now, Electron starts its journey at our integration and control facility and is then transported horizontally from there to the pad, where it is full steam ahead with pad work to help bring that vehicle vertical once it arrives. Now, this launch's mission manager, Jane McNichol, was at the pad earlier today to check in.
Welcome to Launch Complex 2, where just a few hours from now, from right behind me, Electron will lift off and take to Virginia skies for the first time this year. So far, in preparation for liftoff, Electron has traveled the 9-mile journey by road from Rocket Lab's integration and control facility. From there, our launch technicians installed Electron horizontally onto the strongback you see here behind me. In the coming hours, Electron will be raised vertical ahead of launch at around 2:40 a.m. local time. Once pre-launch checks are complete and all personnel are cleared of the pad, we'll begin fueling Electron with liquid oxygen, and we'll start to see that icy white coating form around Electron's launch tanks in preparation for flight. Now, while Electron and LC2 are the stars of the show today, just over here to my left, something equally exciting is taking shape. construction is full speed ahead on our pad for Neutron, with concrete foundations for the launch mount board and the water tower construction nearly complete, ready for installation. Standing at just over 86 meters, or around 283 feet, the tower will hold 200,000 gallons of water. As Neutron's Archimedes engines ignite for liftoff, that water will be pumped onto the pad, providing acoustic suppression and heat protection. A similar system is in place to protect Electron's pad, just on a much smaller scale. When you watch liftoff today, keep an eye on the launch mount right about where you see the red handrails are, and you'll see the deluge system initiate in the seconds before launch. The views of Electron lifting off the pad today will no doubt be spectacular, but at twice the height of Electron and capable of carrying 13 tons of payload mass, Neutron will be quite a different scale altogether, and we can't wait to see that sight soon. For now, technicians are continuing to prep Electron for launch, so I'll hand it back to Muriel in Mission Control.
We are now coming up to 5 minutes from liftoff, and it's at the 2-minute mark to launch that Electron's countdown auto sequence will begin. Now, this is when Electron's flight computer takes over the launch countdown from the operators who are running it manually. Just after Electron has switched to that auto sequence, at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds, we should hear the call that LOX loading is complete on Electron. At 1 minute to liftoff, we can then expect confirmation that the launch vehicle's first and second stages are pressurized for launch. And then it's through to T-minus 10 seconds when our launch director will begin the countdown to liftoff. So with the launch vehicle and the payload healthy and the weather clear, things are looking good for an on-time launch. Coming to you with an update that we have heard on our internal nets that the count has gone into a hold for now. So we'll stand by and wait for updates from Mission Control.
LD avionics on countdown.
Avionics LD.
Avionics terminal board sequence complete.
Copy, thank you.
LED stage countdown.
Stage LD.
Stage terminal board checks are complete.
Copy, thank you, Stage. Can you please confirm your bleed valves are all open?
Confirm bleed valves are open.
Copy, please configure your OFVs for LOX top up.
Copy, they're configured.
PLS LD on countdown.
LD PLS.
Please proceed with the LOX top up, Papa 7600.
Proceeding with Papa 7600. Locks top up.
Hello, we have another update to share. Just to let you know that we have had a hold during today's countdown with the clock sitting at T minus 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Now we are listening into mission control to understand the driver behind that and see if we can recycle for another attempt. We'll let you know more as we do. At T minus 4 minutes and 36 seconds, the clock remains at a hold just while our mission operations team works through what is the driver behind that. We don't have any new information to share with you, but as soon as we do, we'll bring you another update here and let you know if we can recycle this attempt to try for liftoff today.
LDGC on countdown.
GCLD.
Electron is secured on the pad and ECS is enabled.
Copy, thank you. Then GC, please reprime the igniter system, Papa 4200.
Copy, proceeding with the Papa 4200.
Hello again. If you are just tuning in now, I just want to let you know that we are in a hold on the pad at LC2 for the NRO L123 Live and Let Fly mission for the NRO. Now, happily, we do have some time up our sleeve in this window all the way up until 03:25 Eastern. So we may recycle and start the count back up again soon. If we do need to stand down today, though, we do have plenty of backup opportunities in the coming days. For now, though, let's keep up those loops up and listen in for updates from Mission Control.
LD PLS countdown.
PLS LD set.
Tank swap is complete, ready to get back into stage 1, stage 2 liquid oxygen top up.
Copy. I'm happy for you to coordinate with stage.
Copy.
And to all operators, LDN countdown. Just to provide a quick brief. So we're currently still troubleshooting the issue. We have set the new T0 time to the end of the window. That's in UTC time 072500. We're trying to make a decision before the T-minus 12-minute call.
We just heard the update there from Mission Control that our operators have pushed the T0 to the end of today's window and are working what appears to be an out-of-family data issue. Right now, though, that gives us a new T0 of 0325 Eastern, so let's keep an ear out as we progress through that count.
And to all operators, LDN countdown. We did find a a path forward for the issue we encountered. There are currently no blockers. We are proceeding with our new T0 time of 07:25:00 UTC time. So please be prepared for the T-minus 12-minute go-no-go poll.
Good news there from Mission Control. We have had an update that our operators have cleared the path to launch, and we have a new T0 target of 07:25 UTC. So we'll be working through that all the way up to the go, no-go poll at T-minus 12 minutes. We'll come back to you with an update to listen into that then. While we wait out these final few minutes in the new countdown, let's dig into some of the numbers by this mission. So today's launch will be our 46th launch since Electron's very first liftoff in 2017. It will be our 4th launch of 2024 and also coincidentally our 4th launch from LC2. It is our 5th mission for the NRO, with 4 previous missions launching from LC1 in New Zealand. And to date, Electron has launched 178 satellites, and we look forward to adding to that total today in about 17 minutes from now.
To all operators, LD on countdown. We are proceeding now with the final poll for launch, the go no go sequence. Stage,
Stages go.
avionics,
Avionics is go.
GNC,
GNC's go.
Recon,
Beacons go.
T1,
T1 is go.
GC,
GC is go.
PLS,
PLS is go.
Mars CE,
RCE is go.
Mars Up,
Mars Ops is go.
Mars 1,
Mars 1 is go.
NASA GSO,
Go.
NASA AirSO,
NASA RSOs go.
NASA PM,
NASA PM is go.
Payload MD,
Payload MD is go.
LSO,
LSO is go.
LD Sub,
LD SEP is go.
NASA TG.
Please go.
And that concludes the go no go sequence. We're currently T-minus 11 minutes and 8 seconds and counting. We are go for the terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word hold procedure is in effect.
And that is the poll from Mission Control that confirms we are now going forward with today's liftoff attempt at 03:25 Eastern, right at the end of today's launch window in just over 10 minutes and 40 seconds from now.
Okay.
To all on countdown, stage 1 igniter pressure is verified, hydraulic pressure is verified. LD GC on countdown.
GCLD.
The pad terminal checks are complete.
Copy. Avionics LD countdown.
LD avionics.
Please proceed with sequence 55, the avionics terminal check sequence.
Copy. Commencing sequence 55. S-band is switched to high power for flight. Stage 1 and Stage 2, high voltage batteries, ready for flight.
Stage LD countdown.
LD stage.
Proceed with sequence 56, the stage terminal check sequence.
Copy sequence 56.
Proceed with sequence 57, the launch pad ready sequence.
Copy, proceeding with launch pad ready sequence.
T-minus 7 minutes and 41 seconds and counting, and the team and the rocket are both tracking well. Now, I just wanted to give you a bit of an update that we are expecting some potential video dropouts during today's launch. So if that does occur, we'll switch views to Mission Control and continue listening into the team on console for updates.
Copy.
We are now under 5 minutes away from liftoff, and just a reminder of the final processes as we get towards T0. Electron's auto sequence will start at around the 2-minute mark to launch, which will take over the launch countdown from the operators who are running it themselves from Mission Control. Now, after that, once Electron has switched to that auto sequence, we should hear the call that LOX has finished loading on Electron at around T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now, 30 seconds later, at T-minus 1 minute to liftoff, we should hear confirmation that the first and second stages of the rocket are at their full pressure for liftoff. And then we get through to T-minus 10 seconds when our launch director will count down all the way to T0. So with the launch vehicle and the payload both looking good and the range being clear, we should be on time for that 03:25 Eastern Time liftoff target. We'll hand over now to Mission Control and wait for those next few calls coming in at around T-minus 2 minutes.
ECS disabled, pad auto sequences armed. The pad is ready for launch.
To all operators, LDN countdown. From now on, there should be no red flags on your critical LCCs. VCON LD countdown.
LD VCON.
Confirm all expected flight computer ASCOs are green.
Confirm.
Then please lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Auto sequence locked.
At this point, we are go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LD is go for launch.
Vehicle is on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
Anti-gouging has been disabled. Lock system is in recirculation.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks press for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Beginning pitch level. Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
Our 46th Electron is in the air and on its way to orbit after liftoff from Launch Complex 2. Electron's Rutherford engines are burning hot as the launch vehicle accelerates towards max Q, that moment when the density of the air around the rocket and its acceleration through that air creates the maximum aerodynamic pressure that the launch vehicle will experience. The call from Mission Control that we've passed through that point will be coming up shortly.
Vehicle is supersonic. Approaching max Q. At max Q.
With Electron clear through max Q, all is looking nominal at now 1 minute and 26 minutes into flight. So the rocket is now over 20 kilometers in altitude and moving at over 2,800 kilometers an hour. Up next will be 3 launch milestones that happen at roughly the same time. To separate the first stage of the rocket from its second, we need to throttle down and shut off the booster's 9 Rutherford engines. This is called MECO, or main engine cutoff. Next is stage separation, when those 2 sections will disconnect, and then it will be second stage engine ignition for the 10th Rutherford engine on Electron. Those 3 events are coming up shortly, so let's bring up the audio channels from Mission Control to listen in.
15 seconds to staging.
Entered burnout detect mode.
MECO confirmed.
Stage separation successful.
Stage 2 ignition.
That is MECO, stage separation and Rutherford engine start on the second stage, all confirmed across the nets. Live and Let Fly is living up to its name as the mission continues nominally on its way to its target orbit. Up next will be fairing jettison, when Electron's nose cone splits and falls away to expose the NRO's payload in preparation for deployment.
Phenomena.
High voltage battery discharge is nominal.
Fairing separation successful.
And that is fairing jettison confirmed as all continues nominally for Electron. We are now T plus 4 minutes and 19 seconds since Electron's launch off the pad at Launch Complex 2 in Virginia. Now, as we wait for our next set of mission milestones, we can see that Electron is progressing smoothly through flight. The Rutherford engine on the second stage will continue to burn through that propellant and empty those tanks as we approach engine cutoff for the second stage in just a few minutes. Now, that second stage engine is mostly identical to the engines on stage 1. It contains all of the same 3D printed parts and machinery as a stage 1 engine, but has a larger extension nozzle that is ideal for the vacuum conditions of space, and the engine has the ability to hot swap its batteries. Because the batteries for this engine have been working harder and for longer, they need to be swapped out for the mission to continue. And that is an action unique to Electron, which will be coming up in just a few minutes. Coming up now on battery hot swap for the second stage engine. So those batteries are close to terminal now as the mission is continuing. So Electron's engine power system will swap over to a new set to keep it running. This hot swap maneuver will allow continuous energy supply to the Rutherford engine's turbopumps, which delivers fuel into the engine's combustion chamber at extremely high pressure. The old set of batteries will be jettisoned, which we might see on our screen when that happens. So let's watch and listen out for the call from Mission Control.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Hot swap successful.
There they went, you saw it there, a clean battery hot swap for the second stage Rutherford engine. Propulsion looks nominal, our orbital trajectory is on track, and we are now just a few minutes away from the second stage's final milestones.
Stage 2 propulsion is still holding nominal.
T plus 7 minutes, 21 seconds and counting, and the second stage is performing well on this leg of the journey. The burn of this engine should take the kick stage with its NRO payload all the way to the highest point of this mission's trajectory and reach speeds of up to 28,000 kilometers an hour ahead of payload deployment. We are now, though, under 2 minutes to the cutoff of this engine, and we should start hearing more status calls from our mission control operators shortly.
High voltage battery discharge, holding nominal.
Soon we'll be repeating the process of the stage separation that we completed earlier in the mission for the stage 2 you see on your screen from its kick stage with the NRO payload. Now this includes second engine cutoff, or SECO, of that stage 2 engine, followed by separation between stages 2 and 3. Now once that third stage, the kick stage, separates, it will go into a phasing orbit of Earth ahead of payload deployment. We'll listen in for those events now.
Francis and Tamara.
SECO confirm.
Good, transfer orbit.
Great news from Mission Control. With that second stage engine cold and the kick stage separated, Live and Let Fly's payload is now further on its journey to orbit. The kick stage has been released at the apogee of this mission's target orbit, otherwise known as its highest point, but not yet on a circular path. It will now complete an elliptical orbit around Earth before the dots reconnect at the apogee. Now when it does, the kick stage's engine will light up for the first of its multiple burns to set the mission on a circular orbit. Next after that will be payload deployment and the release of the payload. Now at the request of the NRO, we won't be live with those kick stage actions or payload deployment calls, but we will bring you updates across our social media channels. Payload deployment will mark the end of the mission for Rocket Lab, but the beginning of those 3 research missions on orbit for the NRO. So good luck and live and let fly to the NRO. We'll be ending the broadcast now, but remember to follow Rocket Lab's Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages for updates on this mission and our next Electron launch scheduled soon. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.